All right, welcome back to the Beast Game podcast. And today we're talking about The Last Duel. The movie is directed by Ridley Scott, who has done a series of period pieces. He has done Gladiator, he had done Kingdom of Heaven. Robin Hood also fits into this category. So this movie is set in France during the medieval times, I believe 1300s. Also, Ridley Scott has done some movies that you really will remember, such as Alien, Blade Runner, Black Hawk Down is another one, and unfortunately Prometheus. He has also done another movie that I'll be reviewing a little bit later. And the writers are Cole Holfenser, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, and this is also based off of a book also called The Last Duel, which I'm not sure when that book came out. It is based off of a true event that did happen during, again, the same time period. And that book was called The Last Duel, A True Story of Trial by Combat in Medieval France by Eric Jager. This takes place in the late 1300s. It starts off with Matt Damon's character. His character's name is John de Courage, and also Adam Driver's character, who is his friend at this point in the movie, is Jacques Legris. The combat side of things where they're facing off against each other. But what happens is that it then goes into a flashback where Matt Damon's character is in the military in France. He is an accomplished military person. As far as his social status can only go but so far. As opposed to Adam Driver's character, who is a very educated person and has benefited just from being in the right place at the right time. So he's a little bit more upwardly mobile just because he has a name attached to him. Adam Driver and Matt Damon's characters are friends. Adam Driver's character is saying that he's visiting Matt Damon's character for the king. He's asking him to pay his taxes. Because he's been in the military life has essentially just taking a lot of money away from him. This movie's told from three different perspectives. So it's told from Jean de Courage, Matt Damon's character perspective, Jacques Legris' perspective, and also Jodie Comer's perspective, who is Matt Damon's wife. What happens is that Ben Affleck's character is the count of the region of France that he's in, but he is also chosen to befriend Adam Driver's character over Matt Damon's character, just because from a social standpoint, Adam Driver's character has a lot more going for him. He's educated, he's well read, he speaks Latin, things like that. So issue comes into play where Matt Damon is trying to claw his way back into society. Again, he's mostly done military stuff. His father's passed away, his father's land and all his property, for just kind of vindictive reasons, the Count has chosen to choose Adam Driver's character as opposed to Matt Damon. Again, this is his father's property, but Matt Damon's father's property, but for spiteful reasons, it's supposed to go to Adam Driver's character. Matt Damon's character tries to figure out that maybe he needs to marry his way into society. So he meets Jodie Comer's character, Marguerite. Her father has a fair amount of land and also is well established in society. So he marries his way into the family. And then that just sets off a series of events because the Count, who is Ben Affleck's character, again, just doesn't like Matt Damon's character. So because Matt Damon has married his way into Marguerite's family, the Count says, well, the land that was supposed to be given as part of this marriage between Matt Damon and Marguerite, he wants the prime real estate for that, which triggers Matt Damon because he believes that his friend Jacques Legris, Adam Driver's character, might also be in on this vindictive streak. He also deemed all of them to be enemies. So he essentially sues the Count, which I guess at this point in history is kind of unheard of, which then sets off another series of events for Ben Affleck, the Count's character, to try to strike back at Matt Damon. Crux of the movie is based off of a rape situation. There's a rape between Adam Driver's character and Jodie Comer's character. So Matt Damon's character is very just focused on money and the military. He doesn't really care about his wife. He just wants to have an heir because that prolongs his name in history. As far as being a good husband, he's not a very good husband. He's aware that his wife is unhappy, but it just doesn't matter to him. So that also plays a part into this next event where Matt Damon and Adam Driver's character resolve their issue before any egregious acts happen. At this event, try to pass off Adam Driver's character as being a ladies' man. His name's Jacques Le Greek, as I call him, Jacques Le Freak, because he also, along with Ben Affleck's character, they have these wild orgies for some reason. Ladies at this event find Adam Driver's character, Jacques Le Greek's character, attractive. Then also Marguerite's character makes a passing comment related to that she finds him attractive. So she gives him a kiss based off of Matt Damon's response. Like, hey, well, I want to resolve these issues, give this man a kiss on his cheek, but they wind up kissing on the lips very briefly. Goes into another situation where Matt Damon's character has to go off to war. While he's away, Adam Driver's character comes to the house. So for some unknown reasons, that Matt Damon's character's mother, John de Cruz's mother, is also living at this manor with Matt Damon's character and Jodie Comer. So she's living there with John de Cruz and Marguerite. And what happens is that she leaves no one there. The mother leaves no one there. She's like, I have to take care of this business. I have to take everyone with me. I'm out. Adam Driver and a friend appear at the house. So in the three different perspectives, from Matt Damon's character's perspective, the rape happens off screen. He finds out at dinner that something happened, and then he questions his wife, who did it. He figures out that because Jacques Le Greek did it, he wants to destroy his name and then also challenge him to a duel. From Adam Driver's character perspective, Jacques Le Greek's perspective, the wife was coming on to him. They just handled their business. And then the wife says that something happened afterwards. And then from Marguerite's character's perspective, was all a violation. Adam Driver's character, he came in and took her innocence. So this reminds me of an episode of Star Trek. I believe it was called A Matter of Perspective, where Commander Riker had to visit a research station. Head researcher of this research station, he and Riker were just clashing. The researcher's wife found Riker attractive. With the way that it plays out, again, from different perspectives, that everyone has a perspective of what happened, that somehow the husband dies. And people believe that Riker did it, that Riker might have raped the wife, things like that. And again, it's told from different perspectives. It's told from Riker's perspective, the wife's perspective, and then ultimately the husband. And that's kind of what happens in this movie. Again, I don't like flashbacks. I did find this acceptable. A good job at establishing the different ideals that comprise the people. Matt Damon's character is just a bad husband, a terrible husband, and he might be a dry well as far as having children. Adam Driver's character is well-liked, well-respected, well-educated, and that because Matt Damon's character might be a little brutish and just not a good person. He's just a military person, and he's not really a scholarly person. That Marguerite, who comes from that background, the same type of background that Adam Driver's character comes from, that they might be a better match. And then from Marguerite's perspective, she is in a loveless marriage. Her husband has an axe to grind with Jacques Legree. Again, this is all based off of history. And to ruin the movie, Matt Damon's character challenges Adam Driver's character to a duel. They do a joust, do some fighting on the ground. Matt Damon's character gets the best of Adam Driver's character because he's a better tactician, military person, better in combat. That he asks Adam Driver's character to confess. Adam Driver's character, because again, this is told from different perspectives, so no one knows what actually happened. It's just being told from other people's perspective. Like, nothing happened. He didn't take advantage of his wife. Kind of shown from this point that maybe Marguerite possibly invented this situation to maybe get her husband to pay more attention to her. Establishes that she's also pregnant, and was the pregnancy by the rape, was the pregnancy by her husband because her husband and her have been together for a long time. The movie was okay. I was the only person in the theater to go see this movie. I would say it is on the weaker side of Ridley Scott movies, so this might be slightly better than Robin Hood. Adam Driver is a very good actor. He and Jodie Comer give very good performances. The setting is good. Matt Damon, his accent kept wavering, and same thing with Ben Affleck. The core of the story, again, is based off of history. Whether that actually happened the way that it occurred, the question is, did something happen? Because it's being told from different perspectives, no one knows the answer. But as far as history is concerned, John de Carouge, Matt Damon's character, killed Jacques Legree, Adam Driver's character. Later died years later, I think, in the Crusades. And the wife just kind of lived a normal life. Out of the performances, again, Adam Driver and Jodie Comer, awesome. Very good. It's difficult to see people like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck in period pieces because all you really see is Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. But for Adam Driver and Jodie Comer, I really saw them as those characters. The direction is good. The period is good. But I would say just from a important standpoint, this is not a very important movie. It's not a very important story as far as history goes. So did this movie need to be made? Probably not, but it's okay. It's very long. It's about 2.5 hours, I believe. Again, it's being told from different perspectives, broken up into different chapters. So chapter 1 is Matt Damon's perspective. Chapter 2 is Adam Driver's perspective. And it's Jodie Comer's perspective. So I do like that aspect. I do like the acting in it. So I will give this a 6. It is watchable if you like period pieces like I do. Is it an entertaining movie? Not really. It's not very entertaining. And then also Ridley Scott, who is now known for just griping about comic book movies. Earlier stuff, I would say maybe it might have peaked American Gangster. Like that was probably the peak of Ridley Scott. And then his brother, Tony Scott, I want to say might have died right after that. So I want to say that also plays a factor into some of the movies. But a lot of his stuff before American Gangster was great. Then everything kind of after that just is mediocre. So I want to say maybe Body of Lies was after that, Prometheus, Alien Covenant, terrible movie. All the Money in the World, I thought that was okay, but The Martian was good. The Exodus movie, not good. Not a very good movie. But nevertheless, I guess he has only had 1 or 2 hits past the 2010s. So that shows you a lot about Ridley Scott. And I guess his directing style, I mean, he's making the types of movies that he wants to make. That's the Beast Game Podcast. Again, I'm giving this a 6.